Some people can talk for hours in English about their chosen topic, or they have a lot of technical knowledge in a certain field or area. Maybe they work in finance or business, computer science or sustainability. But when it comes to talking on a more personal level, small talk as we call it in English, sometimes those same people can struggle. I have a student who works in fintech, financial technology, and she is very intelligent, can discuss her position and her role in huge amounts of detail. But when it comes to talking about household furniture or what her children eat for breakfast, she struggles to find the right vocabulary. This can be for many different reasons. Everyone is completely different. We all live completely different lives. But if I was to guess, it just comes down to lack of practice or lack of opportunity to practice. You may have Zoom calls all day that are in English, but as soon as you get home, you speak in your native language to your children, to your partner, to your family. Or maybe at the office, no one participates in small talk. You only talk about the work. So again, you have no ability to practice those smaller words, those, let's say, less important words, and you only use the words related to your industry. I also think confidence plays a huge role here. It can be very scary, very nerve-wracking, very overwhelming to have to approach someone you don't know and talk to them in not your native language, your second or your third language. In today's video, I want to give you 10 phrases and a lot of tips on how to make a great first impression, how to approach someone at a conference, a business meeting, an organized event, and leave them feeling like they want to talk to you again. They want to take your contact details and follow up this conversation. Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm a business English teacher and I help intermediate to advanced level students improve their professional workplace English and build their confidence for the work environment. If that is what you are trying to do, then definitely like this video and subscribe if you have not already. I post 2 to 3 videos a week, so I'm sure there will be something helpful there for you. Hello, my name is. Now, of course, this is obvious. This is the first thing you need to do. Greet someone and give your name. But you would be surprised the amount of people that do not give their name in the first meeting, in the initial meeting. I meet people, both native and non-native, that forget to tell me their name in that first interaction that we have. Not only is this embarrassing for both of us when later on we've been talking for an hour and I have to say, I'm really sorry, I don't know your name. But it's also not good manners. And giving your name as the first thing you do when you meet someone shows confidence, it shows power. Always make sure you greet the person and immediately give your name. This then also gives you space to ask for their name. Hi, my name's Catherine, what's yours? Hi, my name is Catherine, it's lovely to meet you. Could I have your name, please? If you have seen my public speaking videos, you know what I think about giving English versions of your name. Now, if that's what you want to do, that's entirely up to you. But the thing is, if you greet someone, give them your name, and immediately give them an alternative name, an easier to pronounce name, what you're saying is, I don't matter. Me and my name don't matter. You're making it easier for them. So if they pronounce your name wrong, or you think they're going to pronounce your name wrong, help them. Find words in their language that rhyme with your name. Find pronunciations in their language that could help them pronounce your name properly. Help them 2 or 3 times, and if they still don't understand by the 3rd time how to pronounce your name correctly, then you can give them that alternative name, that English name, that easier name. Native English speakers have such an easy job as it is because everyone speaks a level of English. Don't make their lives easier by changing your name. Make them work a little bit. This is my name and this is how you pronounce it. And if that does not work, then of course you can give them a nickname or alternative. If you are like me and you struggle to remember names, I'm not sure why. I remember people's jobs, their children, the ages of their children, where they live, but for some reason I can never remember their names. If this sounds like you, here is a helpful tip. When someone gives you their name, repeat it 2 or 3 times immediately after. So I say, "Hi, my name is Catherine. What's your name?" And you tell me, "My name's Sam." "Oh, Sam, lovely to meet you, Sam. Are you enjoying the event today, Sam? Did it take you long to get here today, Sam? What business have you come from, Sam? What organization have you come with, Sam?" Repeating it 3 times immediately after they've given it to you not only helps you remember the name, but it's also quite a psychological thing. Using someone's name has a very powerful message. They feel seen. They feel recognized. You are in control of the situation and you are giving them the space to speak. You are referring to them by name. It's very personal and it encourages an engaging and interesting conversation. They actively want to participate in this conversation. Also, if you forget someone's name and you're not sure how to ask, just be very polite. So let's say we've been talking for 20 minutes and I say, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I forgot your name. Could you just tell me again?" Or, "I'm really sorry, I didn't catch your name. Would you mind telling me again?" Ask in a very polite way and be confident about it. How are you? Now, people love to talk about themselves, even if they won't admit that they enjoy talking about themselves. We love talking about ourselves. So, by asking the person you're talking to, "How are you?" before you've gone into business deals, before you've gone into why you're here or the company you work for, ask them how they are. This makes them feel interested. They want to know how I am. And follow up. Follow up how they are with questions. So, for example, if I say, "I'm actually quite tired. It took me 3 hours to get here today." Instead of saying, "Oh, no, that's a shame. Right, this is what I want to talk to you about." But if you were to say, "Oh, no, where do you live?" Or, "Did you drive? Did you take the train?" It's a nice way to get to know the person and make them feel seen, make them feel recognized, and create a more personal relationship than a business relationship. And of course, most business relationships only work well if you also have some sort of trust and mutual understanding, personal understanding. I am a teacher. I work as an English teacher, or I have experience in teaching English. Make sure you bring up any relevant experience or positions you have. So you're at a business event, a conference, a meeting, a networking event. You need to be networking and be networking successfully. And in order to do this, you need to let people know what area of work you work in, what industry you work in, what experience you have. They shouldn't be asking you. You should be giving that information to them. And you never know, you might have a common connection that you can then expand on. Relate your experience to where you are as well. So let's say I'm at a networking event for teachers. I would bring up my teaching experience. But if I was at a networking event for working professionals, I might bring up my marketing experience that I had previously. So tailor your experience to the event you're at. What do these people need to know about you? What's irrelevant and what is relevant to where you are and what you are doing at that time? My interests are now, of course, you don't have to tell everybody your hobbies, and you kind of need to assess the situation here. Is it a more casual event where you can say, "My interests are badminton, volleyball," or is it a more professional event where you need to tailor your interests to the situation? So let's say you're at a sustainability conference. You could say, "My name is Catherine, I work as a teacher, and my interests are learning how I can introduce sustainability into my classroom, or learning how my business can become more sustainable. My interests are conservation of wildlife. My interests are innovative technology for the future." Whatever your interests are, try and relate them to the people you're talking to and the situation you are in. Because again, this gives them an idea of you and who to contact in the future. "Oh, I remember I was at a conference and I spoke to that English teacher who is really interested in teaching sustainability in her classroom. I've just created a sustainable English vocab course. I would love to be in contact with her. So I'm making those connections. This then also gives the other person the opportunity to tell you their interests. And again, they might be very relevant to you. They might be creating the exact product that you feel you've been missing. They might be working for the exact company you want to work for. By talking about yourself a little and opening the floor for them, that gives them the opportunity to do the same. I just said opening the floor, and I hope you understand what I mean. We use it a lot as native speakers, and it just means give them the opportunity, open the space for them to talk about themselves. What about you? Tell me about yourself. So, we meet all different kinds of people in our life. Some people are extroverted, some introverted, some take a long time to warm up. Some people will tell you everything in the first 5 minutes they meet you. It's really important that you make the other person feel seen and give them the opportunity to speak. So if you meet someone and they're not really talking, ask questions and ask open questions. So don't ask, "Are you fine?" "Yes, I am." "Are you having fun?" "Yes, I am." "What about you? Tell me about yourself." I suddenly have to give you an answer. I remember I was at a dinner party with my mum and dad, and one of their friends approached me and started talking to me about birds. And it was very interesting listening to him talk about birds, but not for 45 minutes. That was quite a long time to be listening to someone talk about birds. In the end, my mum had to pretend that something had happened and she needed me to help her so that I could leave this conversation politely. He didn't ask me one question about myself, and whilst his hobby was interesting, I don't know anything about birds, so I can't relate. It made my impression of this gentleman not, I wouldn't say negative, just that next time I'm at a dinner party with him, I will avoid him. Which is not the impression you want to give to people, is it really? So ask someone about themselves, ask them about their own hobbies, their own interests, why they chose to come today. And relate to that if it's necessary to you. You never know, you might make a new friend, you might make a new colleague, you might want to then start working with them. You never know where it could lead. It's great to be here. I really enjoyed being here. I can't believe how beautiful the venue is. I've never been here before. The food is fantastic. Have you tried the cocktails? I really enjoyed the guest speaker. She was so interesting. Talk about the venue in a positive way. Talk about the event in a positive way. Because again, it gives the other person the opportunity to do the same. You never know who the person is that you're talking to, where the future leads you. This person may have helped organize it. This person might work for the company that organized it. This person might work in your dream company, and if you're talking to them about how negative and bad and uninspiring this event is, what kind of impression do you think that leaves them of you as a person? So compliment the event, compliment what's going on, talk about something you're excited about. I'm really excited to see the talk on business growth in 2024. I have really enjoyed talking to you. I have thoroughly enjoyed meeting you. I'm really pleased I met you today. Give them a compliment. There is nothing better than giving someone else a compliment. Now, one thing I want to mention here is obviously there could be cultural differences here, but in general, in the UK and the US, it's not appropriate in a business situation to compliment someone's appearance. In a business environment, in a professional environment, the way someone looks, the way they dress, the way they do their hair, the color of their skin, the color of their eyes is irrelevant to how they do the job. So whilst you want to give someone a compliment, do not compliment their appearance. I have a colleague that I used to work with, and he and I were friends outside of work as well. So we would always say, "Oh, you look good today," or "Did you change your hair?" But in general, when you meet a stranger, don't compliment their appearance. Find something else about them that's interesting. I loved hearing you talk about your industry. It was very interesting, very inspiring. I really enjoyed talking to you. It's given me some fresh ideas. I overheard you talking with someone else, and I thought what you were saying was brilliant. Do not forget to share your contact details with someone, a potential client, a potential colleague, a potential partner. Don't be pushy with this. So instead of asking them constantly for their contact details, they may not feel comfortable giving their contact details. They may actually not have had a good impression of you. But hopefully, if you followed the steps I've given you, they will, and they will want your contact details. So don't forget to say something along the lines of, do you mind if I take your email address? Or here's my email address. Feel free to email me after the event. Or I would love to discuss this topic with you further in the future. Here's my business card. I really enjoyed this conversation, but I don't have enough time to go into detail now. Could I take your contact details? Find a way to ask them that's polite and interesting and doesn't put any pressure on them. You don't need to contact me immediately, but when you have a chance, I would love to discuss this topic further. I hope to catch up soon. I hope you enjoy your time here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Again, find a nice way to give this person some sort of positive feeling before the conversation ends. Maybe if you found out that they traveled from far away, you could say something like, I hope your journey is okay. Or whilst you're in town, you must try this restaurant. Or whilst you're here, you must go and see this show. I highly recommend it. Find a positive ending to your conversation. What can you tell them? What piece of interesting advice can you give them? How can you secure this relationship and make sure you end on a positive? And our final one today, find an excuse, a genuine excuse to leave the conversation. I have to go and mingle now. If you don't know what the word mingle means, it's when you move around the room and talk to a variety of different people, getting to know them, finding out their contact information. Think of a wedding couple moving around a wedding. They have to speak to all the guests and thank them for coming. That would be considered mingling. I'm going to check out the food now. I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here. I've just seen my colleagues over there. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to go and catch up with them. I really wanted to speak to Steve and I can see he's free, so I'm going to go and grab him now. Enjoy the rest of your day. I have to go and read some information now before the speech starts, but I loved talking to you. Find a way to end the conversation that doesn't make the other person feel like they've done anything wrong. Give a valid excuse as to why you leave and be confident and firm. Don't quietly walk away or try and sneak off when they're talking to someone else, or wait for the conversation to die and then leave. Have an excuse prepared in your mind that you can use to leave the conversation on a positive. I need to catch up with a client of mine. I just need to go and discuss something with my boss. Hope you enjoy the rest of your time here. So again, you're ending the conversation confidently, powerfully, but you're leaving with a positive impression. The other person feels, wow, Catherine is confident. She knows what she wants. She knows how to create a good impression. And now she's going to go and do exactly the same with somebody else. It's not me. I didn't make her leave. I didn't bore her. Now, one last thing I wanted to mention. I was going to mention it in the section about what about you, tell me about yourself, but I actually forgot. Again, difference of culture. In some cultures, it's perfectly normal to ask a woman if she's married or has children. But in the UK and the US, it's not professional to ask this in a business relationship unless it's relevant to the topic. So let's say, for example, I say, it's taken me so long to get here today, I had to drop all 5 kids off at school. Do you have children? Or, oh, sorry, I have to take this phone call. One of my children is sick. Do you have children? If it's relevant to the conversation, you can ask. But in the UK and the US culture, it's not polite to ask a woman in a professional setting if she's married or have children for 2 reasons. The first, it's not professional. It's not related to the job. It doesn't affect her ability to do the job. So why do you need to know? The second, you wouldn't ask a man that. You wouldn't enter a room full of men and say, oh, are you married? Oh, do you have children? You would just talk about business. So it's not appropriate to do it with women. I just wanted to mention that in there as a bit of a cultural difference. I'm not saying that anyone's culture is wrong or right. I'm just explaining that in UK and US culture, it is not polite to ask a woman in a professional setting if she is married or has children. So, I hope that was interesting for you. I hope there was a lot of information there. For some people, this information will not be new at all. You introduce yourself all the time, you're used to speaking with native speakers, and that's totally fine. But for others, this will be the first time that they've had to introduce themselves in English and they will feel nervous about it. This is why I make YouTube videos, because everyone's English language journey is completely different. Everyone's exposure to English is completely different. Everyone's work environment is different. So whilst you may watch this and have thought, I didn't learn anything, someone else might be watching this and think, wow, everything there was new to me. I'm really glad I watched this video. Either way, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.